Happy Easter! How's everybody doing? All right? You guys are in a good mood, so that's exciting. I wore kind of a pastel shirt today, and I wore slacks, not jeans, but I'm not going to tuck in my shirt. I don't care what you say. Okay? Try it. Resurrection Rebel. All right, so we have so much stuff to get through here today, and I really this is my niece, my oldest niece Madison is here today. She's sitting right here by my wonderful partner Lindy, who just shared a prayer with us. And so for those of you who don't know who we are, I was talking to Madison on the way to church this morning. I was saying, I don't really like holidays at church. I don't like Christmas and Easter and Thanksgiving and those types of things. And the reason why is because a lot of people go to church on Christmas and Easter, right? Right? We call them, I've heard people say, like, I'm a creaster, right? I come at Christmas and Easter. I call them CEOs, right? Christmas, Easter, and other high holidays, right? Those are the times we come. So here's the thing. We get dragged into Easter, we wear our new clothes and our bright stuff, and we're excited. We're going to spend some time with family, and we're going to do Easter egg hunts, and all that stuff is wonderful, and it's great. But a lot of times we kind of come into church because that's just kind of what we do, especially in Oklahoma. It's like, you didn't go to, like, people at 7-Eleven are like, Happy Easter! You're like, this is weird, It's like, people everywhere are like, in the Bible Belt, it's all about this thing. So a lot of us have been, even if we don't go to church, we've been to church around Easter-ish time or Christmas time. And we've heard these stories, and I don't like to. How many times can you be told, look, Jesus was a real guy, Jesus really was killed, Jesus really did die, Jesus really went into the grave, Jesus really resurrected 3 days later, and this is the night we celebrate. Easter's here, resurrection, woo! If you don't believe, you're going to hell! And see you next year, So, that's my Easter sermon, all right? That's it. Jesus was a real guy. Jesus died, right? Jesus went into the grave. Jesus really resurrected 3 days later, and he took away the sin of the world, right? And I'm going to leave it at that because I'm not really excited about, like, if you don't do it right or believe it right or say it right or come down and you're going to hell. That kind of part of it really didn't ever make sense to me. It's like Jesus defeated sin and death. But you still have to do a few things, It's like he didn't really defeat it. He kind of, you've got to really be good. So, anyway, so that's, So, anyways. But, with all that said, I believe this stuff. I believe Jesus was a real guy, and that Jesus died, and that he went into the grave, and that 3 days later, when the women showed up, his body was gone. Resurrection happened. So I believe that. Now, because we believe that, because we think that, because we trust in that, let's talk about something else today. Is that all right? Let's talk about the women who followed Jesus. Because the Easter story and the resurrection morning is an unbelievable story about something that most traditions in church ignore and don't really want to talk about and kind of pull away from. And what I would like to do here this morning in Simplicity is fully affirm the women of the creation of God. Because somehow in church, and this really ticks me off, we have somehow marginalized and pushed away women in the church. And I don't fully understand that because as we will read today and see today, Jesus, the anointed one, which is what Christ means, it's not his last name. Christ means the anointed one, means the Messiah. So Jesus was the type of person that fully affirmed women and gave women voice. Amen? No women are excited about that, right? At least 50% of this crowd should be like, that's right! Or whatever. That was very stereotypical. I'm sorry. So sexist of me. listen, women today, to this day, in America, who we're all so liberal and progressive here in our country, we still don't pay women the same amount for the job that is the exact same job that a man has. We still have problems with it in most churches, letting women be leaders and letting women be preachers and letting women run the show. We still have issues and problems with this. And if there's any institution that should say, man, women are the ones who run with this thing, it should be the Church of Jesus Christ. And so simplicity will be a place where we will fully affirm women in their rightful place as being the bearers of the image of God, as being the bearers of the good news. And we will give women the same voice that Jesus would give women. Amen? Amen. So the women who follow Jesus, our lectionary reading today is in Luke 24, 1 through 12. Read it with me. Here we go. I mean, you don't have to read it out loud. You can listen to it. On the first day of the week, at early dawn. What is the next two words? Read it with me. The women. The women who had come with Jesus from Galilee came to the tomb. Meaning, these are women who had followed Jesus through his entire earthly ministry. They didn't just come from Galilee on this trip. These are women who had followed Jesus from the very inception of his ministry from Galilee. The women who had come with Jesus from Galilee came to the tomb, taking the spices that they had prepared. They found the stone rolled away from the tomb, but when they went in, they didn't find the body. Thank God. While they were perplexed about this, suddenly 2 men in dazzling clothes stood beside them. The women were terrified and they bowed their faces to the ground. But the men said to them, "Why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here." You didn't see that coming, did you? He's not here, but he has, what is it? Risen. Remember how he told you while he was still in Galilee that the Son of Man must be handed over to sinners, be crucified, and on the third day rise again? Then they remembered his words. And returning from the tomb, they told all this to the 11 and to the rest, which included many other women, by the way. Now it was Mary Magdalene, Joanna, Mary, the mother of James, and the other women with them who told this to the apostles. Who were the first ones to declare the resurrection of our Christ? The women. Who were the first ones to say, "He's risen"? The women. I saw a great tweet this morning. If the women hadn't professed the good news, we wouldn't know about the resurrection. It was the women. And here it is, guys. Are you ready? Here it is. This is what we do. Right? In institutions and as men who are so fragile in our egos. But these words seemed to these guys as an idle tale, and they did not believe them. Whoa, that's a good start. That's a great start. Right? These women. You know, listen, I was telling Madison about this. Women weren't allowed to testify in the court of law at this time, because a woman's testimony wasn't seen as valid. And what did Jesus do with that? He said, you know what? Who are the first eyewitnesses? Women. Who's going to share the glory in my resurrection? Women. Who's not going to believe them? These idiot guys. Build a church with women who stayed and followed and proclaimed, and with guys who thought it sounded like idle tales. And somehow, hopefully, by about maybe 2019, we could figure it out. But we haven't. Case in point, I'm a dude talking about women who shared the gospel. Are you with me? Do you see some irony here? Anyone? Do you see some irony? I'm a guy talking about women and saying we should affirm women. But you know what? Sometimes there need to be men that will stand up and say the way women have been treated in the world and in the institution of Jesus' church is not fair, is not right, and it needs to change. That's right. Amen? These words seem idle to them, but Peter got up. Oh, because Peter's going to figure it out. Peter's the worst one of all of them, right? Peter's the guy that just a few weeks earlier, Jesus says, "Get behind me, Satan," after Peter said something. Listen, when Jesus looks at you and says, "Get behind me, Satan," you know you've gone off the rails. So Peter ran to him, but you know what? I do love Peter. I love Peter. I love Peter who's like, there's no way. But Peter's the one who says, "Lord, if that's really you, call me out into the water to walk with you." Right? Peter's the one who's like, I don't know if I believe these women, but I'm going to run and see. He might have believed something, didn't he? He might have listened to something, didn't he? There might have been a kernel of truth somewhere that said that got his attention, that these women are so sincere. Maybe there's something to what they're saying. And Peter ran to the tomb to see, and stooping in and looking, he saw what they saw. They didn't lie. They really told the truth. These aren't idle words. These women were speaking the truth of God. He's not here. He's risen. Peter sees it, and then he went home amazed at what had happened. Now, I want to show you a couple of things. Matthew 26, we're going to read a few things. I want to show you what happens here. Matthew 26, verse 56 says, this is at the end of Jesus getting ready to go to trial and getting ready to be arrested, all right? And it says, "But all this had taken place so that the scriptures and the prophets may be fulfilled. Then all the disciples deserted him and fled." Then all the disciples deserted him and fled. Look at the next one. Mark 14. All of them deserted him and fled. And I love Mark gives us one insight into how much they fled. There was one guy who was following Jesus. He was wearing nothing but a linen cloth. They caught a hold of him, but he left the linen cloth and ran off naked. So that's how they deserted Jesus. Like, I don't need clothes, I'm out. That's what the men did. And by the way, I'm going to share some more, but when it says all of the disciples fled, nah. The men did. Guess who stayed? Come on, say it like you mean it. Guess who stayed? Women. Guess who followed? Women. Guess who watched? Women. Guess who heard? Women. Guess who listened? Women. Guess who obeyed? Women. Guess who preached? Women. Women didn't flee. The women stayed. Look at the next couple of verses. This is in Matthew. Many women were also there. This is at the crucifixion. Well, it said all the disciples fled. So which is it? Did all the disciples flee? See, there were disciples that were women too. Are you with me? They had followed him from Galilee. Many women were also there looking on from a distance. They had followed Jesus from Galilee and had provided for him. They were actually paying the bills. Women! Among them were Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of the sons of Zebedee. Where were their dads? Well, I don't know. Maybe they had to stay at home and do business. I don't know. But guess what the women did? They followed Jesus. Go to the next one. Here it is. But the angel said to the women, "Do not be afraid." This is when they show up at the resurrection Sunday morning. "Do not be afraid. I know that you're looking for Jesus who was crucified. He's not here. He has been raised. As he said, come, see the place where he lay. Then go quickly and tell his disciples." You see this? Then go and tell. Go and tell. Don't just see it for yourself, but go and bear witness. He didn't say, go back and get the men, come back and let the men see this, and then let's make sure that the men tell. He looks at them and says, women, go and tell what you've seen. Are you with me? This is God of the creation saying women are the ones who are going to first share the story of my resurrection. Then go quickly and tell the disciples he's been raised from the dead, and indeed he's going ahead of you to Galilee. There you will see him. This is my message for you. Let's go on to the next one. In Mark 15, there were also women looking on from a distance. Among them were Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James the younger, and of Joseph, and Salome. These used to follow him and provided for him when he was in Galilee. And there were many other women who had come up with him to Jerusalem. Who was following Jesus? The women. Look at the next one. Mark 16. This is at the resurrection morning. Don't be alarmed, he said. You're looking for Jesus the Nazarene who was crucified. He has risen. He's not here. See the place where they laid him? But go, tell his disciples and Peter. That's an interesting. Like, if I was Peter when I die and go to heaven, I'd say, why did you not include me on the disciples part? Go tell the disciples. I'm Peter, I guess. You know, he's a little rogue. He cut off that guy's ear. Remember that? Go and tell disciples, and Peter, he's going ahead of you into Galilee. There you will see him, just as he told you. Who was he speaking to? The women. What was he telling them to do? To declare and share and tell. Look at the next one. Where are we? Mark 15. I think I'm almost done here. Actually, this is Mark 16, verse 6 and 7. Now, at the festival, he used to release a prisoner for them. Anyone from it. This is not the right one. Go to the next one. Early on that first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb and saw that the stone had been removed. So she ran and went to Simon Peter and the other disciple, the one whom Jesus loved, and said to him, they've taken the Lord out of the tomb, and we do not know where they've laid him. Go on to the next one. Is this the last one, Liz?
Yes.
No, we've got some in John. Jesus said to her, do not hold on to me, because I've not yet ascended. He's talking to Mary. Do not hold on to me, because I have not yet ascended to the Father, but go to my brothers and say to them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God. Mary Magdalene went and announced. Mary Magdalene went and what? Announced. Who did God give a voice to? The women. I have seen the Lord. And she told him that she had said, and she told him that he had said all these things to her. I think we have two more in John. John 20. Am I right? Do we have any more? Okay, that's great. That's great. That's great. Here's what I want you to see. I had a lot. I wanted to read these though. I wanted to read all of the Gospels. One of the things that happens that's amazing is that in every single Gospel, all four of the accounts, it talks about the women who stayed and followed. It talks about the women who showed up on that morning. It talks about the women who listened to the angels or listened to the Lord, and then they went and told and shared and announced the good news. Shame on the church for silencing women. If it weren't for faithful women who followed Jesus, we would not be here today. All right? And women aren't just good at decorating the church or teaching Sunday school or watching the children or singing in the choir. Women are powerful mouthpieces for the Creator of everything. Are you with me? And men, we would do well to many times be quiet and listen to how God is speaking through the women in our lives. I love that we're a part of a denomination. This is a Christian church, Disciples of Christ denomination. We are Simplicity Christian Church, a willing participant in the Disciples of Christ. One of the reasons that I'm in this particular denomination is because I have a couple of deal breakers for me when it comes to being a part of church. One of them is you have to be fully affirming of LGBTQ community. That's the first one. If you're not, then I'm not saying that you're horrible. I'm just saying it's not for me. And the other one is, one of the other ones is, I have four, but I'm just going to give you two. One is LGBTQ, one is women. If a woman can't be your pope, then I got a problem with your organization. And what I mean by that, by pope, means if a woman can't be the lead of the denominational organization that you're part of, then somewhere, somehow, you've placed an arbitrary glass ceiling that does not exist with God. Amen? And by the way, it's not just with women that we do this, right? Women is just one example, but we do this with all guys. Like, if you've done this, you can't really rise. If you've done this, you can't. If you're in that group, you can't really. Well, you don't. We start to make all these rules, and guess who always kind of gets to be there? And it's okay, guys. You know, I don't get it. So the person that we have in the disciples of Christ, we have what is called a general minister or president. And this is, I think the next slide, you're going to see a picture. Stay right there. That's not the right one. This is our regional minister. This is our regional minister of the region of Oklahoma. All right? This is Pam Holt. Pam Holt is our regional, it would be like other denominations called a bishop. She is the regional minister. I meet with Pam. Whenever we do something here at Simplicity and we have to go through ordination or go through what's happening with our church, the lady that runs our region is a woman. Her name is Pam Holt. Do we have a picture of Terry? Yes. The woman that is the general minister of the entire DOC is Terry Owens. She's what is called our general minister and president of America and Canada. Not only is she a woman, but I don't know if you can tell from this picture, she's a woman of color. Amen? I love that we're a part of a church that says there's no limits on women. But not only here in our region and as our general minister, but we have some women that are pretty powerful around here at Simplicity. Catherine Bramble. Catherine is married to Jamie Bramble. Jamie leads worship. Catherine runs the rest of the church. She is a fearless leader with a heart for people. Another woman, Lindy Castillo. Lindy is my partner, and she is my life partner, and she is someone, she shared our opening prayer this morning. She has a heart to love people that nobody else loves, and she leads and shares and loves at this place very well. Lindsay Moore. Lindsay's right here. Lindsay is getting ready to take us into the most important thing that we will do today, and that is share in the body and blood of Jesus Christ at the table. The table is sacred. The table is holy. The table for the Christian church and disciples of Christ is the thing, and it is the reason that we show up on Sunday mornings. Not just to hear me yell and scream and sweat, but to go to this meal and to get put back together by the resurrected Christ. Lindsay, who is not only going to share and lead us in this meal today, she is also one of the women that is on our board of leadership here at Simplicity. Lindsay Moore. And our beautiful, beautiful little Isabella, who she calls Iz or Izzy, and every time she does, I turn around because that's my nickname. I feel like I'm getting in trouble. Marilyn Lamphere. Marilyn's right here. Marilyn is our health minister. And she'll take your blood pressure and she'll talk to you about how to deal with your doctors. But she'll take care of you, and she has a heart to love the people of this congregation and of this city. And I am so thankful that our board has voted her in to say we want a credentialed woman to come and be a part of this place as she leads. That's Marilyn and Fear. We also have, and who's that? That's a little doggy right there. I just saw that. Who's next? Who's next? This is the mother of the church. Carlita Canada. Her son, Michael Canada, founded Simplicity Church. John is sitting right behind her. John and Carlita are pillars of faith in this place. Carlita is an advocate, is a radical of people, and she keeps us straight here. Carlita brings, and not only that, Carlita is on our board as one of our leaders also. Just one of the other women. Let's go to another one. This is Joanne Davidson. Joanne Davidson and the Resurrection Rabbit. She's married. Joanne runs our books, does so much work from the very beginning of Simplicity. Way before I even was here, the reason that this place is still up and running and going is because Joanne selflessly serves this church. They do stuff that you would never see and never know to make it happen. That's Joanne. This is Julie Pozos. Where's Julie? Where's Julie? Been here from day one, just about, right? Julie has been here. She's one of the Charlie's Angels, right? That's what we call it. Julie's been here from the very beginning and serves this church with such a heart, such a smile, such wisdom, such grace. Julie is also one of the women that is on our board and serves Simplicity that way. This is Debbie. Debbie Holt, one of the Charlie's Angels. Where's Debbie? There's Debbie Holt. Is also one of the women who is on our board. Are you guys seeing a pattern here? We have strong women like Debbie Holt who are willing to sacrifice their time, their effort, their money, their energy to serve this place. We are thankful for her heart and for her love and how she serves. Who else do we have? We're not done. Are you guys tired? It's the women who follow Jesus. Are you with me? It's the women who heard. It's the women who saw. It's the women who gave testimony to the resurrected Christ. This right in front here is Jen. That's Jen Davidson, and that's Jen's wife, Melissa. Jen and Melissa both serve this place with unbelievable passion. Jen is the one who designs all of our shirts and all of our stickers and all that kind of stuff, our website and everything. Jen is just an unbelievable gift to this church. Jen is also one of the women who's on our board and serves Simplicity so well. That's Jen Davidson. Rachel Dewberry. Rachel, you see her every Sunday morning, just about right here at this mic, right next to Jamie, with absolutely the voice of an angel, singing and helping us and leading us into the presence of God. Rachel doesn't just sing. Rachel is a servant. Rachel does all. She's been here from before Simplicity was a thing. She was working with Jamie and doing things and helping, and she's been here from the very beginning. I'm going to share something I'm share something that you didn't give me permission to share. But I have mine. Rachel is, you wouldn't know it, but Rachel struggles with anxiety when she gets up in front of people to sing. And she has decided to just push through it anytime it hits. It doesn't hit every single time, but there are times that literally before service happens, she'll talk to James and say, this is one of those moments. I don't know if I can do this. And Rachel goes outside of herself to serve and to love this community. Amen? Sandy Barr is not here this morning. Sandy is one of our beloved women. She comes up here just about every Saturday and cleans this place by herself to get it ready for Sunday morning. Right now, she's not here this morning. Because her son is struggling with a lot of health issues, and she had to go down to Dallas to be with him. And she is so sad she couldn't be here this morning. Sandy, if you've ever been here, when Sandy leads an opening or a closing prayer, it will change your life. Sandy Barr is an unbelievable woman who follows Jesus. Stephanie and Adrian. Are you the same? Stephanie and Adrian, you'll see them right up here with Lindsay in just a few minutes as they share in breaking the bread and serving every Sunday. They come and they share and they serve faithfully. They bring their little beautiful daughters in, right? And they come almost every Wednesday night. They're here on Sundays. They're serving, they're doing, they're helping, they're blessing. And you know what? I love it because I know I can always have someone that will laugh at my jokes. They're beautiful on the outside. They are gorgeous on the inside. These are ladies that have unbelievable heart to love Jesus, to follow Jesus, and to share that love with us. Amen? Every Sunday. I love seeing Stephanie and Adrian show up. And the woman who's here basically every single time we open the doors, who makes this thing work, and all of the words come up at the right time, and the pictures come up at the right time, and she has to follow me and whatever the heck I'm going to do. Liz Holmes. Another woman who has faithfully served almost from the very, very beginning, before Simplicity was around, I guess, right? She was even helping you guys at restoration times. So, anyways, Liz, definitely not the least, although she's the last picture we have, not the least of the women that serve at Simplicity. Here's what I want to say, okay? Here's what I want to say. I know it's a weird Easter message to put pictures up of a bunch of ladies that do things in a local church. Why are we talking about Jesus? Well, we are talking about Jesus. We're talking about lives that have been changed because of the resurrected Christ. We're talking about lives that from the moment that the women saw the empty tomb, they ran to tell others. The women were the ones who stayed. They did not flee. They did not run away. The women stayed. The women watched. The women listened. The women told. And down through the centuries, women have been the ones to share the gospel with their children, with their friends, with their husbands, with the world, with the nations. It has been women, and now because of the women who stayed and watched and shared and told and sent and announced, now we have women like Terry Owens and Pam Holt and Debbie and Julie and Lindsay and Lindy and all the rest of the other ones that are here. And I want to say this. May we, men, follow Jesus the way that the women have followed Jesus. I am thankful today for the women who would follow Jesus. Let's stand.